Think about it with the fears. What beliefs do you have that keep you from doing this thing? Like, what is your belief system? Like, do you really want this? Write it down. Writing is action. Yes. When you write it down, fam, you are putting it before your eyes. And I like for you to write it down. I like for you to read it out loud so you can hear those barriers that's stopping you from having the life that you want. Like, really think about it. Why is this such a hindrance? What up, family? Welcome to the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we desire for you, yes, I mean you, yes, the one that's listening to this right now, to take the bits of information and immediately apply them to your life for success. The ground rules for our podcast is that it will always, and I do mean always, be encouraging, uplifting, and informative. The areas of life that we will be talking about on the Bacon Bits Podcast is dealing with having a balanced life. Financially, relational, physical, mental, and spiritual. And you know it's these 5 words I want you to say them out loud, please. Literally, I don't care if you're in your car, at your cubicle, you're doing a walk, whatever it is, you're at the gym. Don't mind the people next to you. Just say this stuff out loud. Say valuable information applied equals success. And fam, I am excited to be back up on here with you guys, because we are in a new year, man, and it's exciting. It's a curious year. It's a fearful year for a lot of people. It's an anxious year. It should be none of that. We're going to just control the things that we can and let life do what life be doing. So, fam, what we're going to be talking about today is getting to the point where we actually do what we say we going to do. I know that sounds deep. We're going to get to the point where we do what we actually say we gonna do. It is one thing to know what to do, because we know we should, and you fill in the blank, whether it's exercise, eating better, praying, reading your Bible, being with your friends, calling, having family time, all that, you pick it. But knowing something and actually doing it are 2 very different things. And that's one of the things we have to worry about. Is sometimes we know stuff so much that we actually think we're doing it, and we are not, because we know we should stop procrastinating, watching less TV, being on the social media, and less. But we know we should also be doing, guess what, the stuff that we really want to do. Some of us know on here, as you hear my voice, you know you're supposed to be writing that book, writing some poetry, writing some songs. You know, you're supposed to be learning a new language. I would say that out loud for me, but I'm not going to end up doing it because I don't spend enough time doing it. But you always want to do that thing that you say you want to do. It's some stuff that you've been wanting to learn for a minute. Practicing guitar. There's some things you've been wanting to do. You've been wanting to finally clean your house out, clean your car out, whatever that thing is. But knowing isn't the problem. It is doing what gets us every time. We have got to implement it. And I got to ask that question. Why is implementing this stuff so hard? Really, that's a big question. Why is implementing this stuff so hard? Because, man, one thing it is, it's simple at one time. Y'all know I love to simplify everything. But sometimes it can be difficult, man, on knowing why we keep getting stuck and we're not doing what it is that we know we want to do. Y'all know it's not because we don't have the knowledge. Y'all know that. That's we can definitely say that out loud. Because if I was to ask you right now, I come to you personally and I'll be standing in front of you and I'm looking you eye to eye. And I ask you, what are some of the things that you want to accomplish? You guys could tell me backwards and forwards what it is that you want to accomplish. But my question would be, are you doing it? If yes, beautiful. And if you're not, I would ask you why. And what do we do instead of doing the very things that we need to do or we want to do? We'll read more about what it is that we really want to do. Because I told you, we think we be reading about it and learning more about it. We think we doing it. We talk to people a lot more about it. Man, I really want to do this. I really want to do that. And you done told everybody and their mama what you want to do. And you still have not done it yet. We keep putting it off and doing something else. Think about it. How many times you know you're supposed to do one thing, you'd be like, I get to it in a minute. Let me be on my game a little bit longer. Let me be doing Facebook a little bit longer. Let me watch one more episode of my TV show that I want to do. And here we go, putting it off. And you know the longer you put it off, the more you're going to regret having to get to it in the first place. We be feeling guilty about it, and then we push it back to the back of our minds. We be doing that because the guilt be kicking in. And I don't know why we feel guilty about it. Because, fam, it's your life. You know, nobody's pressuring you to do it. So this is the stuff we're talking about, that inner stuff that happens. That's an inner battle. You know, we feeling guilty about it. I'm like, why are we feeling guilty? I'm like, it's just the thing that we've been really wanting to do that we're not doing. We need to go ahead and slow down and stop and say, I'm finally going to get to the point where I'm going to act on this thing. But, you know, sometimes we'll start talking about it more and we'll be doing more research on it again. You'll be like, fam, that's not getting to where we want to be. We want to get to the point where we're actually doing what we say we want to do. And what's the main thing that's stopping us from doing this little thing that we say we want to do? A lot of times it's fear. F-E-A-R. Fear. What does fear stand for in the acronyms? We've heard F everything and run. We've heard false evidence that appears real. But you know, I always want you to go to that, my favorite one. Face everything and rise. You finally get to the point where you are tackling this thing head on and you say, you know what, I am going to do it. And fam, we got to quit thinking that it's going to happen overnight. Sometimes it's going to take a while to get it done. Currently, while I'm talking to you on this podcast, I am doing a 14-day detoxing of my body. It ain't going to take one day. It ain't going to take a couple of hours, which I wish it would. Fam, it's going to take a minute to get all the toxins and poisons and metals and everything out of my body. It's going to take a minute. And we're talking about 14, 24-hour days. We're talking about drinking detoxing remedies that just cleanses the body out. But I got to, just as long as it took to get that stuff in my body, I got to give my body that much time to process it, to get it out. So yeah, the stuff that I'm taking, fam, I will let you know up front, it is straight up nasty. It tastes horrible. But how bad do I want to be in good health? Do you have to torture yourself sometimes to get what it is that you really want out of life? And the answer is yes. But what I want you to do is not see it as torture. What I want you to do is see it as in, this is what I am really desiring and longing for, so I can live the ultimate best for me. Remember, when you listen to me, I don't never want you comparing yourself to the Joneses. I never want you to look at social media and see what society is telling you, you know, because you know we're lower consumerism is crazy in our country. You want to ask yourself the question, is this right for me? Now, do I want to always constantly be pushing myself and challenging myself to be the best version of myself I can? Yes. But does that also mean am I shooting for perfection? Excuse me. No, it's not. I do not want to be shooting for perfection. I want to be getting to the point where I'm actually living my best life in whatever area that may be. So I want to ask you a couple of the questions. Why would you stay in a relationship where you're getting treated badly? It's time to do something about it, fam. Why is that? Is it because you don't want to be alone, or you are feeling like you're being unloved, or you failing on your own self? Meaning, fam, you know you better than this. You know you better than that relationship that you're in. We are working on the stuff this year that's going to help us get us to the point where we can say, and I don't even want, you ain't got to wait till the end of the year to do this. You ain't got to wait till the end of the year to do an inventory of what's going on in your life. We want to do right now and say, man, I need to do inventory to make sure that I'm doing what I say I need to do. And part of doing what I need to do sometimes is the hard part. Like I said, getting rid of those relationships that we know ain't no good for us. It is cutting back on those bad eating habits, because fam, we all do it. Let's just tell the truth. There are some things that I've been wanting to do, like that dream thing. Like there's something, your hobbies. Fam, some of us are not even doing the hobbies that we used to love to do that made us so happy. It's getting back to doing that, man. And it ain't got to be in big old chunks, fam. If you got to first start reading, you going back to reading, let's just use reading because that's a good, simple one. Fam, you ain't got to read pages and chapters and whole books at a time, fam. It can literally be, let me, set my watch. Let me read for 5 minutes, okay? Let's start with 5 minutes. Let me hang out with somebody that I love that I hadn't been hanging out with for a minute. Let's set a coffee date. Let's set a lunch date. Something, short and sweet, and let's catch up for where we used to be at, or where we need to be at. Fam, think about it. Like, we got to get past this knowing what to do and actually doing it. We got to get past this fear, this false evidence that, like, man, if I don't do it, is it really going to be that bad? If I do it, is it really going to be that bad? Have you ever thought about, like, if this thing that I'm trying to do happens, how would I feel? I know right now, as I'm going through this detox, besides my tongue, my body is in heaven right now, getting rid of all these impurities. But the taste right now is terrible. Same thing with other areas of your life. Like, man, what is that thing? It might, in the immediate, it might feel like, man, this is a struggle. Because some of us are trying to get some relationships back of people that we hadn't been hanging around with in a while. And it feels awkward at the beginning because we used to hang out so much, and now we haven't hung out in a minute. And so sometimes it might feel a little awkward because guess what? Two people are living their different lives and then they come back together. And so sometimes it is challenging. But we want to ask yourself the question, what's some things that we can do to finally get to the point where we're actually doing? Because this is not the year we're going to do resolutions this year. No, fam, we're going to accomplish this stuff. There's some stuff we've been really wanting to do. So, fam, just think about it. What is some stuff we need to do? So instead of just, doing it, fam, we got to, first of all, guess what? Some of us need to still really actually learn how to do it. We really do. We really do. Okay, there's some stuff that I'm trying to learn this year that I haven't done before, and I really want to get out there and, be more influential for some people and for the crowd of people that God has sent me to minister to. I definitely want to get more and more out there. So I got to get outside my comfort zone and learn about, doing more things with the podcast and setting up some coursework that I want to do with people so they can have their best life. So it's learning how to actually do it. So reading about it is doing it. Yeah. Some of the stuff I got to do, a little bit of reading, it's going to be helpful. But it's actually going to be the reading, applying it, reading, applying it, reading, applying it. Not read no big old book and then forget 90% of the stuff that I read in the book. It's actually reading it, applying it, reading it, applying it, reading and applying it. Another way we can get past this barrier of doing it is, why don't you write down your fears of why you're really scared to actually do the thing that you say you want to do? If you've been having trouble doing it, fam, how about you reach out to somebody and ask them, how do you do this? I just got to asking my wonderful producer, Shay, how we can, get more the visuals on the podcast. So I'm excited about that. But see, I didn't know, I don't know how to do it. And my body is always telling me, you ain't smart enough, you're not intelligent enough. I'm always going through these many things that my mind tells me, but I have to fight past it and be like, okay, fam, we got to stop being scared of it and actually do it. What are you afraid of? I'm going to fail. Fail doing what? Fail doing something that you love. And I don't just teach you all this stuff. Some of the stuff that in the areas that I've been really productive in and had a major impact of blessings in my life is, fam, when I did it scared, when I did it and failed, it got me closer to where I wanted to be at. So there's still areas I even have to work on, fam, of getting past the fear of it not working or fear I'm not smart enough. Fam, I go through some of the same stuff that everybody else goes through. But I want it so bad, I am willing to fail at it until I get it right. Willing to fail at it. What do you think this is going to be good for when you do happen to do this thing that you want to do? think about it with the fears. What beliefs do you have that keep you from doing this thing? Like, what is your belief system? Like, do you really want this? Write it down. Writing is action. Guess when you write it down, fam, you are putting it before your eyes. And I like for you to write it down. I like for you to read it out loud so you can hear those barriers that's stopping you from having the life that you want. Like, really think about it. Why is this such a hindrance of holding me back from what it is that I really want to do? And then number 3 is, guess what? I still want you to do it in fear. We're going to get past we're going to do it in fear. Like I said, if it's sitting down and actually applying whatever part you already know how to do, and you might just be getting into it, whatever that thing is. Let's just say go to college. We've been out of college for, a decade, and you want to go back to school. Fam, it's going to be that, get in the catalog, do that. If the finances have been jacked up, pull up that free credit report. Like I said, I know we've been having a fear of it, but it's free. It ain't stopping you. Pull that thing up. We're going to do this afraid. Some of you have been wanting to write a book. Fam, write down the first little parts of the book that you've been wanting to do. Write down the introduction. Write down the person you want to do your interlude to. Write down just the parts of the book that just is on your mind right now that's really prevalent. Writing that poetry, writing that song, starting a business, like go on the internet, I'm talking about literally as soon as you get off this podcast, go right to the computer and pull up that, Better Business Bureau and try to find the name of a company that you want to start that company. It ain't got to be in large amounts. It can be in small increments, man, small commitments, small things. I think about it, it's been 2+ years we've been doing this podcast, man. I'm just excited about saying that. But I would have never thought that starting it was going to be this good. I never thought I would be this happy. I would never thought I would be this excited. I never thought about how many people I could reach around the world. That's amazing to think about that. By sharing the things of what has helped me become the person that I am today and the person I'm still trying to become. And I know it's other people like myself that's out there that, fam, you feel like you done failed at everything. I'm just going to run through some of mine. Had to file for bankruptcy. We talking about divorce. We talking about dad wasn't there for me. I mean, we could talk about all kind of things that were hindrances to me living my best life. And I had to work through each and every one of those issues to finally get to the life that I'm living right now with the love of my life for 15+ years. My kids are doing wonderful. Oh my God, I'm so proud of them, man. They are phenomenal. Each and every last one of them. I am so grateful for the health that I have because I'm always trying to fine tune it constantly because, Lord, I don't want nothing just bum rushing me. I want it to be like, okay, how did John die? That brother just was old. He was ancient. It was time to go. He had to get up out of there. And that's how I want it to be. You think about that, man. What's those little things that's been holding you back? I don't want nobody this year using no more excuses, including me. We have got to get to the point where we finally decide to act and we stop reading about it. We stop talking to other people about it and we start to actually doing it. One step at a time, one page at a time, one paragraph at a time, one person at a time that we need to talk to. Because sometimes you need to get around that environment of people that's doing what you want to do just so it'll rub off on you. Because, Lord, that literally is important that you get around people that's doing what you want to do. And you might be nervous around them because they so good at what they do. They make it look so easy. But if you ask them how they started, family could tell you it was a learning process. They could tell you how many times they had to fall down, bump their head, skin their knee, get back up, get on that bike and ride it again until we could finally take the training wheels off, not be leaning on nobody else, and actually become the best version of ourselves doing what it is that we really want to do. So family, this is the year. This is the time. Like I said, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of fear going around. And you have got to get to the point of, I am going to focus on this thing right here. And this year, every day, I'm going to do that one thing that's going to get me closer to where I want to be. Because this year, I'm going to achieve the very things I've been wanting to achieve. And I'm going to look back over this year and say, man, This is beautiful. I'm glad I finally took the time to finally say, this is the year that it's going to happen. This one. No more putting it off. This is the year it's going to happen. Guys, I love you. I want the absolute best for you. Continue to be the best version of yourself you can possibly be. And when you need some help, reach out and ask. This is your boy John Bacon with another segment of Bacon Bits. Love you guys. God bless. All right, what's up, family? It's your boy John Bacon from the Bacon Bits podcast. Thank you so much for your support, likes, and ratings. Please don't just listen, but rate me, follow me, and subscribe. This is an amazing way to offer free support. My beautiful queen and I have some books that we have written for your growth.
So the first book we have is a workbook, actually. It's called Healthy Relationships, and this is a workbook through the lens of faith. Because what makes a relationship healthy or unhealthy? So this workbook is designed, it's a 12-week, it's a biblically grounded course, and every week has a few different principles. So some of our principles, some of our topics that we're covering are respect, cultivating security. And this is not just between a husband and wife, this is between parents, between siblings, between friends, between your bosses, employers. So it's really important, and everyone deserves a healthy relationship.
And also we have The Balanced Life by John Bacon. It covers how to be prosperous in your finances, relationships, your health, your mind, and your spirit. So you can pick that up on Amazon, also on audiobook. And we also have
The Unraveling, a creative healing journal, pinings, poems, prayers, and ponderings of my precarious life. I've had a testimony of, I've had 2 brain tumors and 2 brain surgeries, and I'm super grateful, but I'm still grieving the process of healing. And this is part of the process. In this book, you have devotionals, you have prayers, and you have some ponderings. And in between these pages, there's a space for you to also be prompted to paint and to create your own, or maybe you want to write something in these books. This is part of your creative healing journal that we get to walk through together.
And you guys can just head over to Kingdom Servants First. Kingdom Servants, the number 1, st.com. And you can purchase all 3 of these books. Thank you for your support, your love, and your contributions. God bless.